Players coming down from the LCS, some players previously playing with each other before. If you look at that top lane of Dokla and Alarim, they used to be on the Optic team together. So a lot of really cool stuff to talk about in a new season of Academy. We're at 2020 now, and we are into a new decade. So let's see who can put their name kind of on that plate of greatness here to start things off. Academy's going to run just kind of the same as the LCS along 2 splits in that 9-week season, but the playoffs are going to be different. You might have seen LCS change around. We're still going with the top 6 teams here in Academy, and then you'll get them split up with the first 2 getting a bye. So as the season goes on, you can remember that, who's going for that playoff spot and who's going for those buys. But right now, it's all the beginning. We're right in the first pages here, and we're going to have to see who signs off on game number 1, as this chapter could come to a close quite fast. We have had fast games all around in each region, very low times because of just the way the Dragon Souls are flowing and how the games are playing. As we see Immortals getting themselves pretty nitty-gritty here as they get into the jungle of TSM to start things off. Potluck, Apollo, and Gate there. What a bottom lane. Apollo and Gate, 2 big LCS players, along with Potluck, somebody who wanted to get himself back into the scene, was a coach for a while for GGA, and really just wanted to find himself doing more work on the Rift. Loss, going to have a bit of damage to him. He does get the Aphelios this game, so it'll be great to see what he can do here. Pretty dominant in that laning phase, and great for the early win. We haven't seen too many games go into a scaling late phase, so these champions that can really excel out of the gate, you're going to be seeing a lot of them. Throughout picks and bans, we did see the MF getting banned. We did see a few more getting banned towards Apollo with that Senna, so they don't want to get that bot lane of what used to be LCS contenders anything too good. We'll be watching that for a second here on the bot side. Lost and Treats as well, a very strong bot lane. Lost got himself some LCS play in the previous seasons on Echo Fox, and while playing well, I think he did require a bit of safety in those games. Still stands as one of my favorite AD carries. He goes in hard, and he loves to play strong. Jumping into the Baron pit on Tristana, it's something I'll always remember of him. Dokla and Alarim, what more can you say about these two? Alorum, playing on the Optic Academy team. And Alorum did have a few chances to get on that LCS squad, but it was mainly Dokla's for Optic. Getting into situations where he was called Yokla, playing the tanks, coming up big, can still have the fight phase in him. And that's why you see him on the Aatrox here against Alorum's Urgot. Pretty big champion pool on the side of Alorum. Not really a player who's going to win you or lose you the game, and that's awesome to have in the top lane when you need steady control. We'll see if Potluck can get anything done on this Lee Sin as he makes his way around the jungle. Little back and forth with the shotgun knees here. Dokla trying to get himself to safety, as Alorum trying to be the predecessor in this one. Nicely done there as he does push out Aatrox with his Urgot. Same, actually a level up there on the top lane, so really using that push to his advantage and going to try to get this one to crash into the turret. Teleport there for Dokla as he's waiting to get back in, and he will use that. Insanity. This is definitely a gentleman we need to talk about. 21 unique picks last year. Probably one of the biggest champion pools you're going to see. And here with this Nautilus pick, they picked it first in Champion Select on the side of Immortals, looking for a support flex, some way to throw off what Cat Evolved could be bringing to the table, now evolved in the mid lane, and we'll get to talking about him. But Insanity's been around for quite a bit. He's been on quite a few teams as well. And we just have to be able to see what he can bring to the table here now, surrounded by a few more players, surrounded by people that can really escalate that champion pool, or I'm sorry, utilize that champion pool to make it stronger. Potluck now going to go towards mid. A lot of CC there, but looks like they just want to get the clear round to make sure Cat Evolved isn't getting too much of a lead or stays behind. Already 10 CS down with that tankiness of Insanity, just able to use the Corrupting Pot, get in there, use his shield, the depth charge, or I'm sorry, his shield, and get out. And easy peasy there, help from Potluck. I like Potluck being in the game. He's a coach. Not many coaches come back to play, and now bringing that knowledge onto the Rift can really help open up a few more avenues of styles to play the game, a voice to listen to that could be calm in a situation where everybody might kind of be freaking out about what's going on. So looking at how this bot lane is playing out, 33 to 31, I kind of feel like Aphelios should be going a little bit harder, but Apollo, that's his Ezreal. He knows how to play safe. He's not going to let Lost get into that range right now with the Graviton gun to get that lockdown. and I believe Calibrum a secondary with that rifle for himself. So just switching back and forth. Apollo obviously keeping an eye on those guns as Treats tries to get himself pushed forward. I like the Leona. It just seems like tanks in the bot lane are the way to go right now. People can follow up on that. You don't have a jungler that's going to be super far ahead or super tanky to initiate. So you got the Braum for Gate. Treats on the Leona. Actually looked like he was going for Apollo there, but he does get Gate. They're going to get some good damage on this as Unbreakable comes up, and we'll stop a bit of that Aphelios damage coming through as he switches back and forth. Now Infernum on one of those guns. Dokla towards the top side. Harbinger stance comes back up, and you see Aatrox walking around. That's his passive when he starts holding the sword forward to get a bit more heal and damage in that attack. Goes for a chain to bring back Alorum, and they do go for a bit of a fight, a flash forward there. I'm trying to get some aggression onto him, but it looks like level 6 of Alorum will not be used as he couldn't chunk out Dokla enough. Spica, what a year he had at the end of the summer split. Going on to play for TSM, having fantastic instances of Baron steals, and this guy was able to steal a few from FlyQuest, also clutch in the playoffs. And let's see what they have here against Gate on the bot side. More aggression now that they know Gate's a little bit hurt. Flashing forward, Lost is going to pick up the first kill. That's what I'm talking about from this AD carry from the bot lane of TSM, playing very aggressive. And when you have the Leona plus the Aphelios, you better be waiting for that damage under the turret, because it's going to be coming. Apollo now very low on mana. He's going to be hurt now with the Ezreal as he tries to farm up, but he's got a wave crashing in, and he has to stay for it. A great back coming in here for TSM, and has to feel good. Dokla is getting pushed around in the bit on the top lane. He's going to be more for the fights, but if the bot lane can do this and he can just hang out, perfect. Same thing with Evolved. Let's talk about Cat Evolved as well. Now Evolved. I keep saying that just so people remember, but it is Evolved now, so let's start saying that. He's on the LeBlanc, and he also has a decent champion pool. We know him for playing the Katarina, where he came from as that. And he was the first pickup in 2019 Scouting Grounds. This is somebody that teams were looking at. That pickup was for EG. They have a decision of where they want to and could go, so that ended up with TSM. And now I believe Cat has, or I'm sorry, Evolved. I'm going to keep saying it because it's just what you would call him in solo queue. But what Evolved has is a lot of the things you want to see in a player that can grow. And sometimes when you go to hone those things in a player, it could go down before it goes up. But having Cat in a position like that on TSM, I feel like he can grow and really start to show some power from that mid lane. Here on the bot side, the pressure going over to Immortals now pulls down TSM, and they could get a kill over here. It looks like Treats could be going down, and he will as he goes back in the fight to try to save the rest of his team. Nice kick by Pollock as they are all down on the bot side now, and it's going to be even a few more going down as they pull him into the Urgot belly, taking it down, and a channel back for Alorum. He feels good on that TP. 101's around the map here for Immortals as they have picked up a beautiful fight back on the bot side, which will also get them Ocean Drake. That feels amazing as well, to be able to keep themselves out on the map for a little bit longer. And a very nice attack back, knowing that Lost and Treats got a kill. You cannot let Aphelios get going early game. Like we said, games have been ending on average a little bit earlier, like 28 minutes to 30 minutes, but that means they're ending even sooner if that's your average. And Aphelios is one of the reasons that is happening. You see a lot in Korean solo queue that the game kind of will just be over, and then in professional play, you last out a bit. There's no surrenders there, but the teams are able to close it out faster with the aggression of these early game champions and the addition of the souls. You cannot forget how powerful souls become, especially when you change that rift up. 3-1 here, coming up on 9 minutes into the game. Let's see where they can decide to go off of this. Insanity still playing it strong in the mid lane, 78-62. And it looks like he's just going to be building up a little bit of resistance so he can take any hits from Evolved and easily take that power that LeBlanc will give. Pressure on the bot side. Looks like it's going to slow down for now, especially with those TPs being down. Spica coming back out right now. Looks like he's got his jungle item finished, but Potluck with those kills was able to finish up Warrior. If he is not out and running right now, then you are not doing your job as a jungler. He feels good. He made a few rounds through his jungle, and then you got to say, hey, I'm not going to be catching up through much more than fighting with my lanes and trying to make an impact, and he got that in the bottom lane. 3 of those assists as well go to Gate on the bottom side, so he's going to be feeling really, really good We talked about that lane a little bit before. I think this might be the happiest bot lane in the West. Apollo and Gate. Smiles on their faces all the time. A lot of play between everybody as we get another play from Potluck here. He's trying to stay omnipresent on the map, calling the team over. He's the first one there. Can the gap be closed? Few too many minions there for a depth charge anchor toss, but they are going to get it through. Nicely done. And there it is. Fear beyond death once again. You hardly see that once in a game, now twice. Spica has to go in to get this kill, but he might put himself in the frying pan as he goes down immediately. A double kill for Alorum. Is Potluck going to stay alive here? The chain's going to hit. One last auto attack. The corrupting pot. It is a good enough amount of damage with that last auto attack. I was going to say he's healing it. He's healing it, but he stays and he gets the kill. Nice job by Evolved. Going to pick up double buffs there, but Alorum's getting big. You know an Urgot can get very, very scary. He sees mid lane, he sees minions, and he is going to go start farming that one up. This looks amazing for him, and we'll see what they can get out of that. Apollo towards top. They're going to switch this around. They say things are getting a little too crazy. Hey now. I like that. Kind of based off past minion vision, but still. Apollo. You're paying the price when you're back in the open against him. Get it? So he's building up his man immune right now. But we're going to go for the Rift Herald quite early. Rift Herald now spawning much earlier into the game. About 5,000 health, I believe, and then it buffs itself up quite a bit, or starts at 8,000 and then goes up. But we're going to get a bit of a fight here. Spica throws down the Zanyas right away. Glacial Fissure comes back from Gate. Doesn't look like they fully want this. They're trying to prevent the fight to get the rest of the team there. And again, coming in with the Solar Flare. Can they get the fight, though? When is it going to happen? Now they're able to follow up. Potluck goes down. Gate's going to have to use the Zanyas, but he goes down after that. They're just making sure he stays, and Apollo can get out of this one. Maybe a last W to Apollo could have happened, but I believe Gate was out of that and waiting on cooldown. So a nice job making sure Rift Herald was stopped, thwarted, and now Spica should be able to pick that up. Looking how much they're rotating back and forth, you had to be ready that there was going to be a much bigger fight there coming out on the top side of TSM. Not knowing the lane swap maybe caught them off guard, but they are going to get Rift Herald out of this one and be able to utilize wherever they want on the map. This feels kind of bad for Potluck. He's been doing so much work, and to lose a major objective like this means he may have to focus on another lane, or he's actually struck to be doing something a little bit more. Also on the Lee Sin, not going to be able to provide as late in the game. You're just trying to make those hot plays and make it spicy for your team to get the kills. We do see Executioner's Calling quickly now coming out for Alorum. He wants to keep the fights going. He knows he's strong. He wants to get in the face of Dokla anytime he sees him, and I do not blame him. When you're 3-0-1, you know you need to use your power, but how can they utilize it? Where is he going right now? Towards that bot side. He'll be pushed up to about second tier turret. We'll have to see where this Rift Herald goes down after. A nice Zenith Blade now into Gate. Remember, he just went down, so they don't have much ground that they're covering on the map. Immortals continues to be pushed around. Treats getting himself a flash forward. May not have wanted to do that. Zanya's in, tries to bait the team a little bit more. Cask blows them away. Does Evolve have the damage? As no, Gate sidesteps the damage coming in. And Insanity's here. He says he wants a piece of this fight. A ward just behind TSM, allowing Insanity to see what's going on in the rest of the team. But this fight fizzles out. It looks like Potluck doesn't want any bit of this either. He's saying, I'm in the jungle. I'm farming right now. Keep everything you're doing to yourselves, and I'm very happy to pick up minions. Here he's going to do a little bit of taxing in mid lane to keep himself on par. Luden's Echo for Evolved. I'm sure he'd love to find someone to kill, but that's not Alorum at this point. He's a tanky person. Looks like support items have changed over, so they are good on getting their vision out until they get to their White Rock Pauldrons in their final transformation. Immortals looking to pick up their second Drake of the game, and this would be quite nice to grab a mountain. Ocean would have been perfect, right? Just keep stacking one. Ooh, Lost gets hit. Does Pollock go in for enough? He gets a full team kick, but is it going to be a follow-up? There's the anchor toss coming in, and the damage is going over onto the side of TSM. Beautiful by Immortals to set that one up and start cleaning up the members they needed to. A little too far forward. Interesting play there. Goes down. They do lose one, and not too big of a problem, though. Treat's trying to do what he can to stay on the front line the entire time. Looks like Evolved will stay with that one, and the ultimate will fizzle out. So Treats goes down. Potluck is one that goes down. He's going to be trying to get himself in for more of the initiations. That was a little too kind of like, we're here, so let's do it, I think. Maybe even a pullback there and a reset on how to take the fight. But kill for a kill. You did take the support. No damage on the turrets, though, and no real ground gained. So really just sizing each other up in that instance. You look what Dokla could be doing to this back line at the end of the game. He still has lockdown from Alorum. He still has lockdown from Insanity. So even if Dokla does get going, it's going to have to be a perfect fight when that window opens. And those are going to be hard to find against a team who has multiple forms of crowd control. You still have Glacial Fissure to worry about if you do dodge out on Insanity and Alorum. Lost, we haven't seen too much from him. He's picking up kills. But when do we see that burst of damage take Immortals off guard? Who do they set up to do, or how do they set that up? Right now, it looks like a little bit of vision towards the top side of the map. Lost in a pretty peculiar position being the first one there, but he does have teammates to help him out. Lost one of the first players coming over from the OPL, and now we have so many. King, Fudge, Triple, Schernfire, all of these players coming over, and you know, Lost when he got here was no slouch. Like I said, one of my favorite marksmen that has come over to the scene, and I even had a chance in the LCS so far. And I believe that, you know, this kind of squad of players coming over does bring a different dynamic, a different play style. I can't wait to ask people, you know, when you play against all of these, do you see any similarities? It'll be interesting to find out. Ultimate coming out of Lost there. Looks like, I believe that was a Gravitum ult to try and get a quick lockdown solely on Apollo, as Severum is now the gun in hand. And they will back off to be safe on that. Ward clearing as the ward wars continue. I like to see that they are getting them out, trying to win that war of vision, because with these teams, that's how I believe Immortals gets a really good fight. You get the anchor toss, you get a hook in from Fog of War, and even Spica can't take some time in the jungle alone as Alorum finds him. Black Cleaver already finished, so he is shredding armor left and right. He has just been catapulted ahead. Level 11 right now. Mid lane is level 11 as well, so solo lanes are equaling out. It's just having those 3 kills has allowed him to itemize that much better. The Ninja Hobbies were picked up by Dokla. He's trying to stay safe against that aggression, but we haven't seen Dokla matching up against Alorum, and that is a smart thing for now. He needs to get himself big. Has caught up in CS, so he's just got to look at those kills. 3 minutes ago, we did have those plates fall. No big deal on that. Didn't like seeing somebody, or anybody I should say, grab too much of an advantage there, as a few bits of pressure for the mid turret go down. Trying to find some consistencies here within the teams. Obviously, Alorum is somebody they're looking at right now for Immortals. A quick break of the lane by Apollo and Gate. They got out early. They tried to mix things up right away before we saw too much of the turrets going down in those situations. So Immortals were definitely trying to set a little bit of the game. Movement from TSM off of that in the early game, however, caught them at Rift Herald, caught Immortals off guard, and they were not able to make the impact that they wanted with that transition. So looking at Alorum, we've been talking about a bit as a top laner. He did start, we've kind of seen him in the scene, I believe, since 2015 competitively, a decent sized champion pool. So looking at how long some of these players have been in the scene is really awesome. And I believe that you learn so much as soon as you start hitting competitive. And it's not that, hey, I'm going to be much better at the game, but your knowledge increases immediately. Hearing a jungler always say, hey, my red's up at X. I'm going to do jungle here, or I'm going to do this because a mid laner is always doing this at X time. You know, hearing those over and over kind of teach you about a game you're not playing, the jungler's game, the mid's game. So I love hearing what players have to say once they do finally get on a competitive team and what really came to light for them in the beginning. So for the last 5 years now, that's what Alorum has been doing on multiple teams here, playing very, very well. He played his LCS games against FlyQuest and CLG at the end of the season in 2019, so he has had a bit of that LCS love as he played behind Dokla on Optic. Definitely a player to watch out for coming into this season. Sion, Nico, Urgot, Ornn, Pyke were some of his favorites in the past, so he's really somebody that can be versatile for the team. Going around the map here, coming up on 20 minutes with a 6-6 score. I feel like they're being a little too easy on each other. TSM's grabbing Rift Heralds here for free. Immortals isn't grabbing too much of the map, but they do have the Drakes in their favor. Kind of matters when it comes up to that last Drake, so we'll see if TSM is just playing the long game on this one. A Rift Herald to mid means they're going to open up the map even more, and that means it's actually harder to protect a dragon if you want to. You lose the fight much quicker to your second tier turret, and the other team has all of that blue jungle all the way down. Let's see if Immortals keeps this up with the pace of all of their Drake. Cloud Drake coming up for number 4. You see Lost in the mid lane with Calibrum trying to hold down the fort here. Apollo's pushing forward. 209 to 160. It did seem like Lost kind of got jumped in lane a few times, pushed around, wasn't as easy to farm, and then the lane swapping seemed really help out the farm of Apollo. 210 on that, especially at level 11. He's just a level over lost, so he's got a level 11 barrage to be shooting out. That feels good. And whenever we talk about Aphelios' ultimate, probably just be what he's using and that ultimate, because it's the easiest. I'm not going to say the ultimate name and the gun he's using. So when you hear that, it'll probably just kind of be like Infernum alt, Calibrum alt, or whatever, Gravitum alt, what have you. So it's been pretty quiet across the rift for now. We see Insanity now towards this top side, trying to get a protection on the turret for his team. He has been an academy for the last 4 splits on Team Liquid, a team that has really built him up as an awesome player. We've seen Team Liquid having fantastic finishes and doing well in academy. And this is also somebody who's been playing since 2015. Obviously, a lot of these players were in beta, were playing much before, but hopping onto the scene is kind of 2015 is when everybody really on this team has been seen. Besides Apollo and Gate, they're a little earlier, as we've seen in the LCS. It just seems like a year that everybody said, yeah, this is something that can happen. The establishment of the league is there. I want to do this. And we are now seeing a lot of these players building themselves quite a name. Gate and Apollo back to the mid lane. They do have a nice kind of push here, but only a few minions, and it doesn't look like they'll have enough to get the turret down. Spica could come over the wall. That's going to be the Zenith into the Solar Flare, and now they're going to be getting Gate down. He puts Unbreakable up. Is it going to be enough? It is. The heal comes out as well from Apollo. On the right side, Dokla finally gets the fight he wants, possibly, but he gets deleted immediately. Being behind his lane has cost him for the initiations on this one, and it's a double kill for Pollock, the unsuspecting jungler of Lee Sin, picking up 2 kills. Everybody on Immortals is quite low here, but they're still staying on the front line. Lost trying to do what he can with the Flamethrower. Gravitum down, and he gets the lockdown, but it's not going to be enough. He gets shut down by Gate, the gatekeeper himself. With no mana there, it's going to be the auto attack, and the final fight leaves 3 standing on each side, or the finals of the fight, I should say. And it's 3 standing on each side, pretty low. So we're seeing that they can test each other. What's happening is being considered, microed in and out, and we saw Lost saying, I can go back in here, even if we lost a few of our tanky members. That's what I like to see, pushing yourself to the limit. You can be criticized for it, but if that works out, you're going to be praised for it, and that's the kind of stuff I love to see, especially in Academy, this fresh blood going hard and not kind of tempering themselves on what could happen based on responses and replies. Cool stuff there. A great fight by both teams. A little messy to start off, as there isn't much of an initiation once Treats and Spica use their ults. So those are huge initiation. We can't say they don't have any, but seeing Dokla come in after there wasn't really any coordination of somebody being locked down, they said, oh, Dokla, easy kill. So a little bit more coordination on when that fight's supposed to happen. I think it looked good because you saw they were standing in front of the turret. The minions were waning. They didn't have as much. And that's when you want to fight, when it's possible that you can use the turret. And it just was a little disjointed. Great ideas. Still have an awesome fight potential coming on the side of TSM. Just get that together a little bit more. On the side of Immortals, they were able to kind of counteract that perfectly, get themselves into a good position, and made it look a little sketchy with how low they were, and they kept going in. And Gate picking up the last kill kind of tells you when the support's auto-attacking someone for the last kill, everybody's kind of stringing themselves out to dry at the end of that fight. So it should be pulled back, and they did. 24 minutes on the clock here, 2K gold lead in the favor of Immortals, with these Rift Heralds being picked up by TSM. All these Drakes, and then map control in favor here of Immortal, has just really catapulted them up in gold a bit. And kills don't hurt either, especially getting some first bloods. 300 bounty on 2 members, Apollo and Alorum. Spica, once again, I feel like that's his little nook, his reading nook to hide until he can throw a barrel at you. That's where he just got the last play from. And they're starting to lose a little bit of vision control on the side of TSM. They use some barrels to get vision now. We see Lost here. Alorum is in a bit of a pinch, but it looks like, Dokla's in a bit of a pinch, but he may want the fight on this. World Ender to the backside. He is going to have Apollo, but instantly, without the crowd control, the team can look at him. Treats perfectly getting into the fight, trying to be that Bass brother that Dokla needed. I don't know if it's going to work enough. Everybody on Immortals could see what was coming. It was an open book, and the pages were read very quick. That's going to be evolved on his image. Just his little Mirage evolved over the wall. A few more chains. 1, 2, 3. Can't get the hit to connect, and he will be forced out of that. Again, the fight happening disjointed. Dokla trying to come in, and Treats was there, but just a few seconds off each other. They had a chance to look at Dokla. Dokla had to pop his Zanyas. They had a chance to look at Treats. It was a little 1 by 1 all together. So, if that makes sense. for Immortals. So Dokla moving back to mid. Still, the pink wards are standing and being secured here. You can see that one wasn't able to be cleared. These fast wards being placed, just always giving Immortals the vision that they need. And team members are making sure to come out of base with those pink wards too. Obviously, TSM's been out for a bit. We only see 2 in the hands of Treats right now, as he gets himself back with the team, and they start to pressure towards the top side. And this is the smart thing. I mean, you're past 20 minutes. Yeah, wards need to be on the bot side for your heralds, for your heralds, for your souls and your drakes. But you're definitely going to have to be watching towards that top side now for Baron, and this is going to be dark. Potluck safeguards back, Sonic waves out, hoping that'll give a bit more vision to who and what TSM members are on the top side of the map. But as of right now, it is not going to be a fight. Treats looking for the engage. They're almost trying to force these a little bit and see if Immortals will make a mistake. I like that too. They haven't shown a mistake, but it doesn't mean they won't. And sometimes you're banging your head against the wall and you don't come up with the right result. But this, with a Leona, with a Gragas, with the amount of pressure they can instantly put on engage, there's no reason you stop trying. It's just a little bit difficult with the side of the team having a Braum and the rest to disengage. Damage here on the turret, Demolish as well, going down, so they're quickly able to take it again just at the end of the turret going down. They're trying to get the retreat play. And TSM is becoming a bit predictable here for Immortals as they continue to go for engages. And then the re-engage coming in. Spica throws the Zhonya's down. They're going to get to the back line. Treats is now the one for focus. And it's Alarim coming into the fight. He says, no, I'm to the back line too. But that quick disruption showing 4 members of TSM that Alarim could make it to the back line made them hesitate. And the one member that could get in, once again, Treats goes down. Fantastic ways to take these fights by Immortals here as they're seeing it coming through, and it's becoming a bit easier. Obviously, TSM is forced into these. With Immortals being ahead, the fights do become easier, but TSM still cannot give up the tries. They have the type of team that can get in and has to. Again, the vision in control, allowing just these tidbits of information to be played out. The nice Infernum ultimate coming out of Lost, though, and he can still get that damage down, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the follow-up, and enough of it. That's a quick stun coming in as they do get a kill onto Gate. Potluck's running around as he gets away from Evolved here. This is going to be a fun cat-and-mouse game between Elise and Anna LeBlanc. Another kill onto Lost is, again, 2 just disjointed in the fight. Everybody's forced to scatter because I feel like at this point, Immortals can take more of the 1v1s. They don't have to help each other. They're really starting to be able to spread that damage and spread the advantage. Teleports coming in. Does not look like Evolved and Treats want to let this happen. They're clearing as many wards as possible. TP to the ward means you can't clear it. Galaxy Brain keeping the vision strong here. Alarum coming in 5-0 and 2. What a game. What a game from this guy coming in. Beautiful job. Famous for his Wukong 1 trick. That's about it. But now it's going to be the Urgot. Doing a really good job. I did say in the beginning, he's one of those kind of just fundamental players. Doesn't win you or lose you the game. But in this new decade, we're making names for ourselves here. Let's go, Lorem. Doing nice on the Urgot. Was able to get a flash and aggression out of Dokla early, almost taking a solo kill there. Potluck, doing a great job. Going from a coaching position back to a playing position. Not losing any of the APM, baby. Being able to click fast. He is having a great game as well. The 4-4-6 Lee Sin, a jungler you are still sometimes seeing because of preference, but not a jungler, someone saying, first pick me that. And he's really able to still put up the plays that his team needs to see and really push the people out of the fight that need to be pushed out because the tanks are helping to protect Apollo on the back line and keep delivering the damage. But Lorem's just doing a Lorem thing. So he's going to the mid lane by himself. And how fantastic that has been so far. Remember, as this game ends, it is not over. 100 Thieves Academy versus GGA is coming up next with myself, Golden Glue, and Dash. So be sure to stick around for that. It should be quite fun. And this is just looking like a shellacking here on the front side of the turret. 13-9, just under 30 minutes. Like we're saying, the average game time is going to be fast because once that team can control the Drakes, they control the souls, they control your soul. And when you sell your soul, that is not good. And it looks like they're going to have to buy that one back. It's getting expensive. But if you have a 500 bounty and a 700 bounty, it's like you have a coupon to buy that soul back if you can get those two. So 1,300 gold sitting on, or 1,200 gold, math, sitting on a few members. It's actually 550, now up to 600. I was right, 1,300 gold, ready to be picked up. It's like a check from grandma or that cool uncle at the family bazaar. You know, families are bizarre, but that's what you need to do. So if you can kill the Deathless Apollo and the Deathless Alorum, things change, but those have to go on the right people. There's so many what ifs, what could be's, and but if this happens, right? And we'll see what does. TSM definitely needs the perfect engage, though. It might have to be a flank. There's so much vision on the side of IMT now that I don't know if Dokla could do that flank to even disrupt the backline that does let Spica and Treats into the front side. The items are just way too much now on the side of Immortals. They're kind of just surpassing TSM at this point with that gold lead of 7,000. So we'll see what they do on this one of the final pushes. Nice job on the sweeper. Spica and Treats trying to get a quick kill on the gate as he is alone by himself, but not the man you want to initiate on. Oh, do they want Spica? He throws down the cask already, so they get the ultimate out. That's a true shot barrage coming over. Zenith Blade goes down, but Spica's going to die immediately. We don't speak about that one. Treats going down as well. They can't even help his team. 3 of the members now inside the base. Well, 2, as 1 goes down outside. But Evolved and Lost, the only ones able to make it back alive, as Alorum is now 7-0-3 with a 4-0-9. Apollo firing Mystic shots over his shoulder. I didn't think you could say the word Mystic and Urgot in the same sentence. It's just not beautiful. But it is happening, and the inhibitor in the mid lane has gone down. It looks like Immortals, as they return, want to show that they are quite unkillable in a few lanes, and they will be taking the first win of the season for themselves over TSM Academy. What a team they put together on this side. We thought about it on both sides. Teams looked great, and Immortals were able to find the composition and the champions to come out with win number 1. All right, everybody, that's going to be the end of that game. Remember, stick around for that game 5. We are going to be heading over with Golden Glue and Dash to check out 100 Thieves Academy and Golden Guardians Academy.